Yeah, so we're about to begin our second webinar on opening India to the world. I'll give a lot of context on, why we're doing this, what is the purpose of holding these webinars. You're already aware. I'm sure a lot of you already know about We Founder Circle, what we have been doing. I think the short video that we presented also was with the purpose of showing you just a glimpse of what all we have done in the last 3.5 years, and I think some of you have been witnesses to that. Some of you have been investing with us continuously. I see some very familiar names here in the people who have joined us. I think people will keep joining us. I'll just share a little bit of how we'll move forward with the webinar. We will present a little bit about what we are trying to do with our approach to global opportunities, global startup opportunities, and global investor opportunities that we're looking at right now. What have we done so far, and what is new that is brewing within WFC? After that, we will have a question answer round where I will, ask all of you to share any experience or anything that you want to share. It could be a feedback, it could be a suggestion for us, it could be anything that you want to know about whatever we're trying to do. Yes, so before we begin, I would request my team to launch a poll. And this poll is just for me to understand if you are a new investor or an investor who's been with us for a while. So I would just request, if you see a poll in front of you in your screen, could you just select for me and let me know where do you stand in terms of your investment background. I see a couple of you have polled. Anyone who's not polled yet, please let us know. I see most of you are already investors, so that is great. Yeah, I think just poll quickly and let me know where you stand in terms of your investment journey, and I'll touch upon this as we move forward in the webinar. I think, Siddharth, we can stop this poll. I think this is good. I think everyone has polled already. And I see, yeah, I think a couple of you have not really been investing, but I think most of you have invested. I see a couple of very experienced investors with a good amount of companies in the portfolio. That's great. One more poll that I want to know, which is in context to the global part of this webinar. Siddharth, if you can launch the second poll. Yeah, so this is about cross-border investment because we are actually launching a lot of initiatives that relate to Indian investors investing outside of India, and a lot of investors from outside of India exploring opportunity in India. So this is something which is very relevant for us to know. Have you explored any cross-border investment so far or not? And it could be through us, it could be through someone else. Doesn't matter. And I see majority of you have not. So that is great. I think we can add some value to your knowledge base today through the webinar that we're doing. I think a couple of you have not polled. If it'll be great if you just let us know. Great. I think, Siddha, this is good. So we can move on. Let me share my screen. So yeah, hello everyone. We are at the second Opening India to the World webinar. And if you did attend the last one, you know what we are planning to do. This is a series of webinars that we are going to do this entire year. Reason being that when we started 3.5 years ago, we always thought that we would do something big globally. We would actively invest outside of India. We will also actively look for investors outside of India. We started in 2020, and the organic traction that we got from outside of India, from countries like Singapore, Dubai, US, UK, Switzerland, France, uh, what else? There were many countries. I think the point is that we keep getting these requests from investors outside of India who are very interested in helping out companies in India or want to invest. And we've always entertained them as much as we can. Now is the time when we are at a stage where we believe we could do something more structured for angels who are sitting outside of India. Can my team confirm that the screen sharing is fine?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, great. So I'll move forward. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'll briefly introduce what is We Founder Circle. We Founder Circle started in 2020 as an angel network. We wanted to build a network of angel investors who want to invest actively and participate in the entire investment process. I mean, our definition of active investor means that they are people who want to contribute to the ecosystem. It's not just that they've put in money and after 3 years they come to us and ask us for returns. These are investors who are passionate about building something new, about the ecosystem, about founders, about entrepreneurship, and they want to participate in one way or the other. I think we have been fairly successful in doing that, where we've built a huge community of investors who want to, keep working with us, who want to keep working with our founders. Over the last 3.5 years, we have expanded from being an angel network to a tech platform, which is called Invest, through which a lot of our investors track their existing investments. They are able to explore a lot of deals. They're able to meet investors from other parts of the country. Uh, we also have multiple investment instruments today. So we have EvolveX, an accelerator for early stage companies. We have a VC fund, which is for later stage companies and early stage companies both. We have AIF Cat 1 domestic fund, and more importantly, which is very, very relevant for now and this webinar, we have a Gift City fund, which allows a lot of these cross-border payments much more swiftly and efficiently, along with the tech and the instruments that we have formed. There's a community that we have cultivated and groomed, and it includes investors, it includes a lot of founders, it includes a lot of enablers of the ecosystem. I'll touch base a little bit upon how we use the community. So essentially, okay, and anyone, I'm taking a break here. Anyone who has questions, I will answer all of those questions. You can keep asking them either in the Q&A box if there's anything that you want to ask, or I will actually let you speak once I'm done with the presentation very quickly, so that any doubts or any questions that you have regarding the topics that we've touched upon today, you can just ask me at that point of time. Okay. So yeah, I want to emphasize the all stage funding that we do. So over the last 3.5 years, like I said, we started off as an angel network, primarily investing in very early stage deals, which means that these companies were barely 2 years old. They were doing revenues of 1 to 5 lakh per month, and they were probably doing the first or the second round. Today, of course, with all the instruments that we have been able to cultivate, like you can see all the funds that we have a VC fund, we have domestic AIF, we have a global Gift City fund, and of course the angel network that we have. Because of that, we are able to explore funding companies from pre-seed stage, which is very early on. They probably just are starting to build their product, to very later stage companies like a Series B or a Series C company that already has validated their business model. They are at the stage where they're just scaling and they're expanding globally. So we have an entire range of companies that we can offer to our investors who are joining us from India or from outside of India. Besides that, this funding ecosystem is also supported by the collaboration and the support ecosystem that we've built around it. We have a lot of syndicates who use our fund and fund, like they're able to give money to a lot of companies that we may not be aware of, but they are sourcing those companies on their own and giving money to those companies using our domestic fund. We have a lot of co-investors like Bloom and Tiger Global, Sequoia. They're all able to actually share deals with us, and we are able to participate in those rounds. We have a tech platform, Invest, which has around 13,000 investors. We have 600 startups listed out there. We have people who are registered from 63 countries, 770 cities. So we've always imagined that we would be building a 360-degree ecosystem to support startups, and that is what we have been able to do in the last 3.5 years. Some of you, of course, would have met us in a lot of events that we keep doing inside India and outside of India. I'll touch base upon that as well. And those events are, of course, crucial for us because we activate our investment community and we activate a lot of our startup ecosystem enablers also during those events. If I have to touch base a little bit on the numbers that we have today, just to give a snapshot, our portfolio is 150 startups strong across 15 sectors. So we are stage and sector agnostic at this point of time. Our network is 13,000 investors in 63 countries. That means that we have a reach or some sort of a presence in all of these countries. When we say that we wanted to be global from day one, yes, we expected that we would reach some obvious countries, but we've been able to reach some non-obvious ones as well. Like I think a couple of our investors are from countries like Iceland, countries like Laos, countries like Vietnam. So all of these have added to our confidence that we can actually go global in a big way. We have raised $38 million so far cumulatively in our companies. Today, we run 4 regulated funds. And regulated means that they are registered with one regulatory body, and there is a defined process to use those funds to invest in India and outside of India. This is a snapshot of our portfolio of what we have built. And like I said, because we are early stage to later stage, you can see the bifurcation here from early stage to, let's say, Series B, where we have invested. We have the mandate and the potential to enter companies at Series B or Series C even, now that we have a VC fund as well. And the average multipliers are written here. So top 10 companies are giving us around a 6x today, which is a very good number, thinking that we just started 3 years ago. And more importantly, I think this is the part that I was emphasizing, that we began with the vision of building an entire ecosystem for startups and for investors. And I think we are almost there when it comes to achieving that entire structure for our stakeholders, all stage funding, wherein we don't say no to any company because of whatever stage they are at. We entertain all kinds of startups because of the funding instruments that we have, the tech platform, and the community support that we have. It pretty much bridges all the pain points that any stakeholder, whether an investor or a startup, would feel when they start their journey of investing or building their company. Our tech platform, with what we originally wanted, was to give transparency to investors. If tomorrow an investor invests in 10 companies with us, they should be able to track their investments, and our platform Invest is actually enabling that. Also, mind you, this is one of the most active ways in which we have formed this platform to enable knowledge transfer. Before this, there was a huge complaint from investors that we are not able to access information or get access to founders once we invest in them. So our platform, which is called Invest, helps you reach out to that information and keep track of your portfolio. We are not there yet in terms of all the features that we want to enable, but we have a very good start right now. And I think I would request all of you to definitely go and try the product after this webinar. This is a little bit about what we have been doing and how it has been covered in media. Uh, we have been called the most active investor at early stages in India. The first year of our inception, we did around 40 startups. The next year, we did around 60 plus, 61 or 62 was the number I remember. Third year, we touched 80 as we enabled other people to also syndicate through our fund. And this year, we're hoping to touch a good number of 100. So let's see how that goes. But we are very happy that all our work has been recognized by the ecosystem and that we have been able to mobilize our investors from tier 2, tier 3 cities in India, as well as people who are sitting outside of India who want to take part in the ecosystem. And we've been able to get them to invest in some high growth companies in India. And this brings me to what we're doing here today. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we were very lucky to get traction from outside of India organically to begin with. I think Divjot, you have a question. Could you just ask it in the Q&A section, or probably once I am done with the presentation, I would be happy to take your question. I'll just give you more context of what we're doing here. So yeah, like I said, that when we began, we organically got a lot of traction from angel investors outside of India, and we were more than happy to facilitate their investments. We have made investments in US-based companies, not UK-based companies, Singapore-based companies, and Dubai-based companies. To begin with, we were not very sure what could be the different ways in which we would be able to make the investments and the paperwork happen, but we slowly figured our way through the process. Now, interestingly, I'll talk a little bit about why we are starting a global opportunity right now. So as we all know that investments in India have taken a big uptick in the last 3 years, right? We are big witnesses of that because we began literally 3 years ago. The investments that are coming into India are just like second or third to, globally, what has been going on in other countries, right? India got $77 billion of investments in startups, right? We have, in terms of growth of year by year, we have been growing at rate of 26% in terms of the number of companies that are coming for funding or are coming up every year in India. In terms of startup hubs, we are among the top 5 in the world. In fact, I think last year, we were the one with maximum unicorns coming out of this region. Usually it's either between us or China. I think we surpassed China last year. In terms of investments, where are these investments coming from? So when I say that there's a lot of money pouring into India or the Indian startup ecosystem, in fact, interestingly, the numbers that we got, a lot of you must have heard of the funding winter, right? That there's a winter, there's no investment. Interestingly, at the early stage, me would mean pre-series A, anything before pre-series A or series A, there was not much of a winter. Uh, there was a robust funding cycle that was still going on. And luckily, that cycle was funded by retail investors like you all who are here. There was a little bit of a huge block in big rounds, series A plus. Those rounds were getting stretched, were taking a lot of time to close. There was an increased due diligence. The markets were down. So there was obviously an effect when it came to growth stage companies. But early stage companies, again, saw good involvement of the ecosystem with a lot of angel participation, in fact. And we also personally saw that. We have been keeping our numbers keep improving every year when it comes to deals, right? And the reason is we reach out to so many new angels, and so many new angels reach out to us, that we're able to keep a momentum when it comes to funding companies. So I think this map actually shows what we've done so far. Uh, because of the traction that we have been able to build overall in the ecosystem, I think the global investors have also started taking part in the initiatives that we have launched since last 2 years. We have done multiple events in Dubai. We've done multiple events in Singapore to engage with the same investors who've been reaching out to us and telling us that they want to, take part in the Indian startup ecosystem. They want to figure out if how can they actually reach out to companies in India. They want to figure out what if there is any way someone could handhold them and help them with the first few steps of investment in India. And obviously, I think a little bit of our success is reflection of the growth of the ecosystem in general. So the numbers have been increasing, and I think we have been beneficiaries of that. And I think because people outside of India keep reading all these success stories in India, they keep reading about the money that is pouring into India, so they also want to participate. So yeah, I think we're riding the wave for sure, especially at the early stage investment cycle. And this is a snapshot of the journey that we have done with global companies that we have worked with so far. Uh, we've been lucky enough to work with companies like Pixel, Pearsight, Pandorum, Crackle, QPy. And these are just mixed examples. Like Pixel is a US-based company where we were lucky to take part in their Series B round. Crackle was a Singapore-based company where we participated at the pre-seed level. QPy was an Indian company where there are a lot of US-based investors who took part. And this was, again, because of the Global Angels Club that we are forming. We have Gift City Fund, which enabled a lot of these transactions. So in total, $13 million we were able to raise in our fund because of all the companies that we brought, and the companies are mentioned here. And yeah, the most recent example that I can give of great participation that has happened from angels outside of India has been in Blue Smart and Crick Heroes. Just last month, we opened the opportunity to global investors to take part in the pre-series B round of Blue Smart. The offer, there was a discounted direct cap opportunity for angels who were sitting outside of India. And let me tell you, this is one of the, I would say, sort of an experiments that we did. There are a lot of companies in our portfolio that are going global. They want to spread their presence outside of India. Blue Smart is one. Blue Smart started their operations in UAE last month, and the founders are very keen to have investors come on board from those geographies. And those, I mean, just to allow angels from those geographies to come directly on cap table, they were very happy to give discounts. So this is one of those very big advantages of being part of the Global Angels Club initiative that we are launching. The access to such deals, right? Because these are very strategic opportunities. They are not available to all the people or all the angels who are in India. These are available to people who are sitting outside of India, right? And these are, like I said, these companies who have a presence globally, who want to actually engage with angels globally. So this is something that was very exciting for us, and we were again lucky to get great response on that. Crick Hero, similar example, it's the biggest cricket community. We were again lucky to get a bite in the Series B round, and great response from Singapore and US angels for this deal. So I mean, so far these are just we've closed them very, very recently, last week, in fact. So these are the most recent success stories that I can quote that have come out of our global initiative. And since we've started courting a lot of global investors with very specific opportunities, a couple of pain points that came forward to us, like what investors have been telling, what are the problems that they face. Couple of them, like I think so many of angels that are sitting in, let's say, in Canada or US, they want to get in touch with the ecosystem here. They don't know who to trust, who not to trust. They want to get in touch with good startups, but they don't know how to. They want a lot of hand holding in terms of understanding how to firstly assess deals, how to get access to a particular type of deal flow, and then to understand how much to allocate. a lot of these problems, because they're just starting off as investors. So these are the things that they have been facing, and we've been more than happy to help them out there because that's actually our specialty. Another pain point that a lot of investors told us about was lack of a platform driven experience, which means that once they start the process of investing and then they invest, where can they follow this entire process, right? What are the documents to sign? Where can they follow up on portfolio management? Let's say once they invest, where can they see the updates? Who will send them the emails? Is there any streamlined process for all of this? There were a couple of investors who also didn't have knowledge about the multiple instruments that they could use. They just thought that it's either just direct cap table, or some were only aware of direct using a global gift city fund. They weren't aware that there could be mixture or multiple options available to an investor sitting outside of India. So those are the things that we again, help them clarify, and we were able to provide them access and knowledge about the multiple instruments that could be used for investment when you're outside of India. Lastly, I think a major question that a lot of investors asked us was the remittance issues. What happens once the remittance is done? Can they invest in USD? Can they invest in their local currency? What are the tax issues that come with it? What are, let's say, the other bureaucratic issues that could, be a hindrance? Like I think NRE, NRO account related information. So a lot of investors were initially hesitant to invest because they couldn't figure out a lot of these technicalities that are related to the remittance process. So we have a team now that is able to solve or resolve these questions or give time to investors to make them understand what could be an easier way or what is the right way to invest. So yeah, I think the initiative, now that we've sort of, established that there is a need for solving for angels who are sitting outside of India, or even Indians who want to actively start participating and putting money in deals that are outside of India. I think what was lacking in the process was trust and convenience. And this is what we want to provide to angels who are here. We want to make sure that there is a trust in the entire process, that there are regulated funds that we can tell you about, and you can use them as per whatever the whatever for whatever deal it makes sense. We want to make sure that there is a platform experience for you, so it saves you time and hassle of emailing just to get information. We want to ensure that you are able to get all the tax benefits, and you know about what are the tax implications every time you invest. And of course that during the exit, there is no issue of distribution of your profits into foreign or local accounts, etc. So we're trying our best to solve for those two crucial issues, trust and convenience, through our Global Angel Fund. And yeah, I mean, this is the first time, because we are sort of at a stage where we have figured out the pain points, and we want to service people who want to start participating in investments through us. There is a membership that we have launched for the Global Angels Club. And the benefits of that membership, like I mentioned, we want to instill trust and convenience for investors who are sitting abroad. So yeah, access to the deal flow, that is crucial. Like a lot of people don't understand the local ecosystem. They don't understand how to get access and then to assess those deals. We are more than happy to assist you in that. We are more than happy to tell you what are the different fund instruments available for any investor who wants to invest. We can tell you what are the tax implications. We are happy to provide some exclusive opportunities that won't be available to all investors. And those could be discounted direct cap table entries in some strategic countries. We are happy to provide access to some US, UK, Singapore, Dubai-based deals where, let's say either you as an investor want to put money or you want those companies to come to us. We are more than happy to evaluate those as well. So we want to open this entire channel of cross-border payments, cross-border investments through, our Global Angels Club. Along with that, obviously, we have a huge community on ground in different countries, and we would be doing a lot of mobilization there as well. So this would be an exclusive club of investors who want to, participate and work with startups in India and outside of India. And we are happy to facilitate all of that through our Angels Club. The next big opportunities that I would like to highlight are the ones that are on your screen. The one that we are personally very excited by is Zip. We would in fact be holding a pitch day for Zip tomorrow. This is a Series C round, and there is again access to a discounted direct cap table entry for people who are part of our membership club. The second opportunity we have is for Visa to Fly, again a very early stage deal. And if you want to commit like a $10,000 check in the company, we are more than happy to facilitate. Both of those are very different opportunities, very different verticals, but high growth companies with established founders and established investors. The team behind the global initiative that I'm talking about, some of us, Neeraj, Gaurav, Vikas, Dev, and me. Neeraj, Gaurav have been veterans in the investment space. They have been investing for 10 years, have been part of much larger networks. Vikas comes from India Mart background, has been with the company since it started to IPO. Dev comes from an extensive global corporate experience. I also come from a very global community building experience. And here we are, trying to build a corridor of investments between India and outside of India. These are just glimpses of couple of events that we have done outside of India. This one is particularly from Bangalore. One is Bangalore, one is Dubai. This one is Singapore, Dubai. So yeah, I mean, we have been mobilizing people outside of India and inside of India. We'll continue to do that. But now I think it's time for all of you to ask me any questions that you want. Please keep writing in the Q&A box. I'll give each of you access to ask those questions directly because we do want an interactive um, session. Okay, so Praveen has a couple of questions. I will allow Praveen to talk. Praveen, you can ask your questions.
Hey, Bhavna, thank you very much. This is very enlightening. So we've been doing some investments with other angel ventures.
Yeah.
So I want to understand, like, whenever I look at the portfolio of the companies that you bring, they bring in a lot of value addition when it comes to consumer consumption per se.
Yeah.
One, from the investor's point of view, I see that the carry-on capital charges generally are hovering around 15%, 18%, which is typically like 6 to 7 times of what other capital ventures actually offer. So anything on that point?
Usually it depends from deal to deal, to be very honest.
Okay.
But every time we do 15 to 20. In fact, just recently when we did, I think when we participate in the third or the fourth up round, because we've been doing up rounds for a couple of companies in our portfolio. So initially, if the up round is just like the first or the second up round, we don't usually charge too much. But later on, we have charged because we also sort of hedge our bets on a couple of companies in our portfolio. I think when you're talking 15, 20, I think it's very, very recently that we've done in a couple of deals where we are also super bullish, and those are exclusive deals that are coming only to us. It's just a matter of business perspective, not in every deal.
Makes sense. Thank you very much. Another question is Blue Smart still available today?
I can talk offline with you.
Sure.
I it would be a tricky situation, to be very honest.
Okay.
But yes, I think let's connect offline and we shall discuss the details.
Absolutely, absolutely. I look forward to having a word with you, Bhavna. Thank you very much.
Praveen, tell me a little bit of your background. I want to.
Hey, thank you, thank you. Yeah, absolutely, I'll do. Right now, I'm working as a associate vice president with a company based in Gurgaon.
Okay.
I have been working with companies like Salesforce, ServiceNow prior to this. I am a product management professional, so I've done my MBA. So yes, I have invested into a few startups. My friends, they themselves have come up with startup ideas, so been part and parcel of those incubation programs. So I take programs. I work with founders across the spectrum, and I also had the opportunity to teach at IIT Madras.
Oh,
For
what did
founders.
you teach there?
Sorry.
What did you teach at IIT Madras?
It was all for the initial program incubations for startups, wherein we were asked to mentor a few of the startup founders to give them the right product market fit mix explanations, how to go about bringing in investments, how to challenge themselves, seeing through those initial hiccups.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's great. I think you've been mentoring a lot of startups then.
Yes. I have been looking at the portfolios for a few startups. It's other than investments, it has been very educational for me to see budding entrepreneurs taking those risks and coming forward and placing their bets.
No, I agree. I think that's also something which is very encouraging for us. That's one reason why we always wanted to have an entire ecosystem of support around startups.
Absolutely
Because being in the ecosystem, I can tell you that a lot of startups, even after they've raised funds, they still struggle. They
true.
still struggle with basic questions like how do I deploy this money? They
Exactly.
still want mentors. They
Yeah.
still want to get access to people like you, for example.
True.
Right? So a lot of those, I think all the milestones that come with funding, after funding, those
Yes.
are even more difficult
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. It's just the initial hurdle that we are looking at investment. But how do you make sure you invest them up appropriately? Plays a vital role in your execution.
Correct. And that is one reason why, we keep doing these activation events, even for startups, right? Because sometimes there's just lack of community. And I've seen this not just in India, even outside of India, it's a similar situation. The first time when we went to Dubai and we did a event there for our investors,
Mhm.
the startups that we met there, interestingly, they said that when it comes to early stage investing, Dubai is not the most conducive market
Yeah.
because most people want to put money in something that already has validation. They
Absolutely.
don't want to put money in something that is yet to prove itself.
Yeah. I concur with you, Bhavna, because I was in Dubai last February. Uh, and I see that most of their business is more to do with banking, localized banking. But now their sectors are opening up. Like if you ask me, e-commerce, automotive industries, and tourism. And if we talk today, they are opening up themselves to things that we could not have imagined like 10, 15 years ago. So they're into uh, uh, everyday deliveries. They're into food deliveries. They're accepting the new norms of the business that we are today doing. So Dubai is drastically opening up, and that's a very good area to be in.
And interestingly, a lot of Indian founders are
Yeah, yeah,
incorporating companies in Dubai,
yeah.
sometimes to focus on India as a market, and sometimes to just replicate couple of stories that they've seen in India or outside of India and start building it in Dubai. And
True.
then, of course, use it as a gateway to larger GCC area.
Yeah. So I know, at least I myself know a couple of folks who have moved from Bangalore to Dubai, so that they want to establish their market. And because it's very easy, if you ask me, establishing a company in India versus Dubai, there's a lot of leverage there.
Correct. So it's a very hot market for us, and a lot of investors lately from UAE have shown a strong interest
True.
to become part of our global angel initiative because they definitely want to learn a little bit more about, these Indian startups who are either migrating to Dubai or they are actually looking at India as a market. So
True.
again, all of those insights and all those questions that investors need to be answered, I mean, we are more than happy to do that. We are doing it and we'll keep doing it. But yeah,
Yeah,
Praveen, we can connect offline and I'll
yeah,
definitely
fantastic.
update you on this
Really
one.
looking forward to our association, Mama. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Praveen. I see an anonymous attend. Actually, Divyajot had raised his hand couple of times. So, Divijot, I've given you access to speak if you would like to ask your questions that you had earlier. Okay. Uh, if not, maybe I will go to the anonymous attendee who's asked the question. If I join Global Fund, can I choose to invest in Indian startups through that, or I can invest only in foreign companies? So the answer to that is you can choose to invest anywhere in the world. So yes, you can invest in Indian startups through that. You can also choose to invest in foreign companies that we have curated for you. And currently, the geographies that we have touched upon more than others, I think, is the US, Dubai, Singapore corridor here that we are more comfortable with. But we are actively talking to angel investors in Europe and UK to also facilitate those deals, and Canada, in fact. If we can get those deals on our fund, we'd be more than happy to. In fact, a couple of founders from Israel and couple of countries in Africa have also approached us. These are those people who want to raise money from India. And then another situation that we've encountered is that a lot of Indians who have been in outside of India, in Africa, for example, they want to fund companies in Africa. And that also is possible through the Gift City Fund. Um, Vivek, Vivek, Vivek. Okay, I read your question, Vivek. I'll give you access to speak. Give me a second. Hi, Vivek. Do you want to ask your question?
Hi, Bhavna.
Hi, how are
Good
you?
evening. It's a nice presentation and also an
Thank you.
overview of what exactly is being done on cross border.
Yeah, and I think Vivek, before you ask your question, I want to know some feedback from you as well. I mean, I know that you're also exposed to, ecosystem outside of India. Do you think it's high time that, something is being done for that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please ask your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to know. See, I have invested in 3, 4 startup now.
Yeah.
Actually, suppose I wanted to see the performance of each startup, can I get a sort of a personalized dashboard from company like you so that it will be easy for me to track the performance as well as whenever I want, I can really take decisions.
So you have invested in all of those companies through us?
Yeah, through Invest.
Okay. So in Invest right now, what we have enabled is that the startups will update every 3 months their numbers there. So if there is any change, that could be seen through the platform. That is one thing. Our team also does review calls, quarterly review calls, which investors can join and ask any
Yes.
questions that they have to the investor. Those review calls are also uploaded on the platform. So in
Mhm.
terms of tracking the performance and tracking the startups, these are the two things that we do right now. Is that what you're asking, or if there's
No,
any
I
other?
just wanted whether as an investor, can
Yeah.
I get for my own investment rather than actually the startup is actually presenting their performance and we are participating.
So that is a feature that we haven't really worked on yet, but that's something that is in the pipeline. So I'll tell you the process, the thought process that we have. Like I mentioned, getting people to upload this information on a platform is a very new phenomena in the Indian ecosystem, right?
True.
Startups so far have been giving updates to us on email. So first thing that we did was we standardized the information format in which they would, let us know what are the updates in the company.
Right.
Then we are starting to build this habit in startups to upload it on the platform, because that was something that no other investor had ever asked them to do. So a lot of time we spend on just pushing startups to keep sharing that information on the platform. Now, once we are able to get all our startups to do that, then we will work on the personalization of dashboard that you're requesting. But for that, because in order for me or our team to actually provide you that, we want to make sure that there is continuous update that is coming. Otherwise, that whole experience wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah. On your second question, which is the Blue Smart one, I'll give you the same answer as I gave to Praveen, which is that it's a tricky situation because we sort of closed it last week. If there's any possibility, I'll need to check, but we can connect offline and I can check with you what's your interest, and I'll
Sure.
let you know.
Sure. Sure.
Vivek, also a little bit of background from your side, like what do you do? Where are you based out of?
See, actually, I'll tell you, I'm having experience of 30 plus years of in the Indian industry. I actually worked on various organization, multinational companies at very senior position also, like CEO, COO, all those positions. Currently, actually, I took a break and I become an independent director. So I gone through the process of independent director to become the independent director now. Yeah, and probably in future would like to give my services to startups also as an advisor and also to the companies, being an independent director.
And you're based out of where?
I am based at Nagpur,
At
Maharashtra.
Okay. Nagpur has a very buzzing ecosystem. I think lately I've been getting a lot of requests to visit Nagpur. I think the government has also gotten very active in
Yes.
presenting
Yeah.
startups to investors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Vivek. So we'll connect for Blue Smart offline.
Sure.
And any other feedback that you have, you can also let me know later.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhavna.
Thank you, Vivek. I would request any other investor who has a question, they can raise their hand and I can I can sort of unmute them and they can ask me any question that they have. Before we move on to the next question, there is another poll that I wanted to do, which is anyone who has any curiosity about the Global Investor Angel Investment Club, we can actually connect offline. So I'll request my team to launch that poll. So I can just record everyone's interest and we can have a separate conversation offline if anyone wishes, or anything you want to discuss about investment opportunities. I've started the poll, so just let me know if there's anything any one of you wants to know. This is just for my reference. So in case we need to connect offline for any of those topics, we can do that in the coming week. And yeah, anyone else who has a question, you can raise your hand or you can post it in the okay, people are raising hands. So Suchindra is there. I'll allow you to talk. Hi Suchindra, you can unmute and ask me any question you have.
Hi, Bhavna. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi. So I recently, through a friend, we've invested in Blue Smart,
Okay.
and I'd also
Through us?
expressed interest. Come again?
Through us, or how did
Through
you?
you, yeah, through
Okay.
you guys. And I had a conversation with Chaitra from your team. This was in regard to your RevolveX mentorship program. I'm currently based in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, nice.
I've always been in a consulting space, invested in over nine startups. Most of them are in India, and there's a cannabis-based medicinal company here in Australia that I've also invested.
Right.
I'm also trying to look at a segue to move back to India, but I'm already working with a couple of VCs in terms of mentoring and coaching some of these startups. So I would be interested to kind of explore both investing as well as mentoring and coaching them across their tech stack, go-to-market, pricing, unit economics, and collaboration and go-to-market in terms of other countries. I've worked with about 30 odd companies, 5 continents, 12 sectors. So these are areas that I really wanted to leverage, and that's what I aim to do. I was introduced to WFC by Abhishek Gupta, who's gone back to KPMG now. So we were colleagues back in KPMG a couple of years ago. So he
Okay.
was the one who put a strong word on WFC, and that's a space that I need to be in.
Yeah, so if you're interested in just let's say the mentoring part, so EvolveX is a great opportunity. So I think the EvolveX team, they floated a form that you have filled.
Web form, yes.
Yeah, so I think in EvolveX, what happens is that there are different areas in which mentorship is done. So we've done one round of mentorships already for the current cohort. Usually, we will ask those startups where they're stuck or what are the requirements. And if they, let's say, have a requirement where they need someone to help them with the tech stack or maybe a business model or something, then we just do mixing and matching. Like we will maybe put them in touch with you. Uh, so I think let me check with the Volvex team and see if they've contacted all of the investors who showed interest or there are some left. But I'll be happy to facilitate that, no issues.
Sure. I've already had one chat with Chaitra. I'd
Okay.
requested for a connect with you. I work with another VC company with Ayan Chatterjee, and he also knows you pretty well.
Okay.
He,
Great.
he said,
I think we can connect offline. Maybe just fill the poll and let me talk to you separately and we'll figure out how we can get you involved in the
sure,
mentorship.
sure. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So Suchinda, what are your plans to move to India? You said you're planning a move, but you're not sure when or how.
No, I'm very, very sure.
Okay.
So next year, between April to June, I'm moving back after 8 years being here and about 3 years in US.
Okay.
Yeah, want to continue working with the startup ecosystem in space, advising them, mentoring them, take a couple of roles on the boards if possible. But that's all I want to do.
That's great, Suchinda. I think I'd love to pick your brain and see, I mean, what could be a good fit of for startups. I mean, what kind of startups could benefit from your experience actually.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And I'll put LinkedIn also, so you could get to view what my profile and background is.
Yeah, I'll
That
definitely
helps.
do that. Thank you. Thank
Sure.
you, Suchinda.
Thank you.
Um, Teja, you had a couple of questions, so I've given you access to speak.
Yes, Bhawna, thank you. Regarding one question, like recently, as per the SEBI, we see the units allocated in our demat accounts for the companies we invested. But the problem is like kind of other mutual funds. I see my buy price. Here I don't have that.
Okay.
So it's like apart from other shares and mutual funds, when I see my portfolio, it's like for these 2 3 companies that I invested, it's like in red color. I want to manually enter the price. For that, where do I know the price?
Okay, that's a question that I also need to get checked from my finance team. So this whole DMAT process has just ended last month. I think we had sent notification to majority of the investors that please share your DMAT account details. And I think we've just finished like connecting the accounts. If there is a way that you can update the prices manually, that I would have to also check myself. I don't have that information right now with me.
Okay.
Yeah, but noted, duly noted, and I'll get this checked with our team.
Okay. And next, regarding quarterly calls, I don't see that happening frequently. Like with Soaptail, we had, I think, some few months back, and with Garuda Aerospace, it has been like 1 year, but there is no any calls or update on the further process.
Okay, Garuda, I'll need to check. Softail, I think like you mentioned, there was one. So we are also trying to make these calls more and more regular. I think right now we have 150 startups in the portfolio and our portfolio management team is fairly new. So I think give us a couple of months and we would be able to do at least 10 to 12 review calls in a month. That's our goal. And we are working on it. So Garuda and all, because Garuda has been constantly fundraising, so it has been difficult sometimes to, catch hold of the founder. So right now, the problem that we face sometimes is when the founder is available, investors are not available. When investors are available, founders are not available. So that coordination sometimes messes up the entire schedule for us. But yeah, we're trying our best to at least get one call in a quarter done for every company.
No. And third one is, how is this global fund regulated? Is this regulated by SEBI as well? because we can invest in Indian startups?
See, so the global club includes Gift City Fund, access to Gift City Fund. Gift City Fund is regulated by IFSCA because it's not a domestic fund. Domestic funds are all regulated by SEBI. And Gift City Fund, because it's a special economic zone, there is another body that regulates it. So that's called IFSCA. So Gift City has been in Gandhinagar. It's been there. I think lately it has sort of caught on with the investing community a lot, as the volume of investments between India and outside of India investors has been increasing. So yeah,
Okay.
Thanks, Teja.
Thank
Praveen had another question. Praveen, let me unmute you. Uh, Hi, Praveen, you had another question.
I had another question. The thing is, could we allow founders to come up and present their pitch so that they will be able to raise funds here?
Raise funds in India, you're saying?
Yeah.
So we have thought of that concept, to be very honest.
Okay.
Just to have open pitches, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I'll tell you the problem that we face there. So I personally, as someone who evaluates a lot of startups, can do open pitches. I've done these open paid forward initiatives where any founder can come and talk to me.
Okay.
Even we organize a lot of events where any founder can come up to us and talk to us. Me, my team, everyone is there.
Mhm.
Those concepts we do a lot. And sometimes investors are also like, we do a startup investor mixer when investors can talk to startups. We haven't really done that online because I can do it as part of, let's say, WFC scouting for startups initiative, something like that. But
Okay.
if I do it with investors, there is a false hope that, you'll get funding through this.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
actually, from pitching to funding is such a long
yeah,
process
yeah, I agree.
internally. So that's why we don't do anything which is very open. We do something open, like open concepts are good for networking. So
Mhm.
that we are very, very pro. We do those things and we'll do it again in couple of months in different cities.
Okay.
Online, we refrain from it just because we don't want investors to hear pitches and then WFC is there. So it looks like WFC sort of vetted these companies, but we have not. So
Okay.
yeah, just to avoid that confusion.
Makes sense. Yeah, there's some amount of conflict that you don't want to get into.
Yeah, otherwise people will be like, we WFC organized this event, we met the startup there, and
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
we
That would be putting across a false impression to people who want to invest.
correct. So that we want to avoid.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you, Bhavna.
Yeah. I think Vivek has a question or a request more. Apart from investments, I'm available and would like to participate in mentorship, startup program. Okay, Vivek, noted, duly noted, and we will get in touch with you for the next round of mentorships that we're doing. We constantly keep collecting updates from investors who want to invest in companies. It takes us a while to get to segregate that information and organize it so that we can present it to the startups. But yes, I think please do share any interest that you have or anyone else has here in mentorship. I think there was a question about the contribution agreement on the global fund. So I think I'll just answer it. Contribution agreement could be bypassed if you are an accredited investor. That is a great flexibility for anyone who wants to invest through the Global Gift City Fund. So as long as you're an accredited investor, you can bypass the contribution agreement. And I'm mentioning this again because contribution agreement, sometimes it becomes a hassle for investors who want to invest through funds. So just a note on that. Is there anyone else who has a question? They can raise their hand so I can unmute them and they can ask if there's any clarity they need on what we covered today. I think we will, oh wait, I saw something. Okay, Rohin, let me give you speaking access. Hi, Rohin, I think you can speak.
Yeah. Hi, this is Rohin this side. I am not an investor in the startup space, but I have a fairly decent sized portfolio in the uh, stock market. Okay. I'm also looking at investments in the startup space. That's one. Number two, I also run multiple businesses which range from HR, staffing services to e-learning to AI, working on HR domain. I'm also available for mentorship, and we could support your startups in multiple areas. So just wanted to check, what would be the possibilities in those areas apart from the investment, which I would definitely, explore the platform of Invest and, move forward on that direction. So these are the two areas.
Yeah, so Rohin, I think we have floated couple of forms. I think Vivek and Praveen mentioned interest in mentoring the startups that we have. So there's usually a mentorship form that we keep floating, and I think if you fill that form, our team will just get in touch with you and try to understand what is the value addition that you will get to startups. And once we're clear, then we can put you in touch with the respective startups. I mean, that's the usual process that we follow.
Sure.
Besides that, the investment side, yeah, I mean, if you've not invested through us before, we'd be happy to handhold you and tell you what are the next big opportunities where you could take part. Or if you have a specific interest in the global ecosystem, we'd be happy to get on a call and explain you or walk you through the steps for that as well.
Sure. Thanks. That would be wonderful. I'll definitely explore the investments, and if the form could also be shared with me, that would be very nice.
Great. Yeah, Rohin, we'll definitely do that. You're based out of where?
Uh, on the other side of the phone,
Huh?
I'm based out of
That's
Chennai, but I travel multiple cities.
okay. Okay, great. So yeah, Chennai is a big hub for us. In fact, we do have one member from our team, investment team, a senior member based out of Chennai. So in case meeting that person makes sense, we can arrange that as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks. Rohin. So yeah, anyone else has any questions that we can take before we wrap this up for today? You can raise your hand or you could just ask in the Q&A box. There's another question that I just got, which is around, can I invest in local currency through the global fund? Yes, actually, that's a very, very big advantage of the Gift City fund that we have. You would be able to invest in your local currency if you're not based out of India, if you are in Dubai or if you are in US or any other part, you can invest in your local currency. That's a very big advantage. So yes, if you are interested in investing from outside of India to India, Gift City could be a very interesting choice for you. Akanksha has a question. Is there a minimum investment? I am new into investing, cannot speak. I'm from Dubai. Okay, Akanksha, the minimum investment usually in any deal that we do and for global investors could be $5,000 to $10,000. If you are an accredited investor, you can bypass the contribution agreement, and you could have more flexibility on the minimum ticket size. Usually ticket sizes vary from company to company. If you're new into investing, Akanksha, I would highly recommend that you fix a call with us. I hope you have filled the poll. We would be more than happy to get on a call with you and understand how you want to invest. We have a very robust community of investors who are in Dubai right now. And I'd be happy to facilitate or help you out in the initial few steps. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. I know you cannot speak, but I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I think any last few questions that I can take, otherwise I will wrap up the call for today. Okay, I think we can wrap up the call then. I think Everyone, all of you, thank you so much for attending our second webinar. We are very, very actively looking to collaborate on the global startup ecosystem today. It's a very exciting time for investment landscape where we see people reaching out to us from across the globe wanting to participate and help Indian entrepreneurs. We see this as a great opportunity to build a bridge between what is happening in India and in what way it could affect everything else outside of India. So we are very excited. I hope you all are as well. Do reach out to us if you have any questions for us and any way we can help you. And thank you so much for giving your time today to us Friday evening. Yeah, I think I would request my team to, I think, wrap up the call. Thank you so much, everyone.